doing this one thing. It ain't going to make or break anything, but it's going to make things a little bit easier. And I'm going to talk to you about that here on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and today I wanted to make just yet another video, and this one's not going to be a long-winded one, so you don't have to worry about that, but just something that's very obvious, and I think most seasoned sellers probably already do this, but just a little secret, I didn't really start doing this until this year, as crazy as that sounds, and that is using your SKU, the SKU field, to put in valuable information. So many times I come across listings where the seller is using their title to put in their bin number, like like B12, I-35. I mean, I guess we're playing bingo now, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying. And it's not only is it kind of wonky to put your bin number or location of the item in the title, it's kind of confusing to the customer too, because they're seeing the title and they're trying to understand what you're selling. And if someone's used to seeing like new in box or free shipping or whatever at the end of the title, and they see 072, well, that doesn't mean anything to a buyer and can potentially cause some confusion. There's really no place for it there, and I know it's probably the easiest place to put it, the next place being maybe in the item description, but there is an easier place and a more appropriate place to put that information, and that's in the SKU, the SKU field. And it's very accessible when you're looking at your item listings under your active items and or in the lister, and it's right underneath the title. You can't miss it. Now, just so you know, I've always put my location of the item in that field. What I haven't done until recently is started putting in what I paid for that item in that field as well. So what I do is I'll put in parentheses the cost of the item, but like $5. I just put $5 in parentheses. And then beyond that, what I like to do is I'll put where it's located, so we can find it. And then beyond that, if I've cross-listed the item, all the different locations where it could be. Like, and there's room to do this. I type in Mercari, Amazon, Posh. Okay, you could easily put AMP, right? So that way, that part of it, if you sell an item and you see that it's sold, you can easily see when you're looking at your sold listings that, I have this on Mercari. I have this on Poshmark. So you then know to immediately go in and delete it off of those sites. So you're not double selling it. So that's the second purpose. But again, I've been doing that part for the longest time. It's just putting in the value of the item, or not the value, but the cost of the item. So look, if you have like, 100 items in your store, I guess you can use your recollection to remember and recall what you paid. But for me, I mean, over the years, it's like I kind of have an idea, a cost average, but I'm buying these things in bulk. So I cost average everything out anyway. So if I assign, let's say, based on what I paid for this pallet, everything is $10. So that's always been easy for me. But you guys know that up until last year, I pretty much stopped buying pallets. Not because I wanted to, but because the liquidation merchandise just isn't there like I'm used to seeing it. So I really stopped looking over the last 6 months, and my sourcing has changed. So in my case, I'm spending anywhere from $1 per item all the way up to maybe 30 or 40 bucks. I mean, if I have to pay up to get an item that's going to yield like $200, $300, $400, I'm certainly going to do that. But at the end of the day, my item might be sitting there for weeks, and once it's sold, I want to know what I'm into the item for. And also, if I'm looking at maybe an offer from somebody, I came out with the video, I'll put it up here over the weekend, and it was talking about how I accept best offer. Well, part of that equation is being able to know and have quick reference, what am I into this thing for? Because without it now, because I'm paying such a different amount for each of my items, I'm guessing at that point. And I think when you guess, you're opening yourself up to making mistakes. And the last thing you want to do is say, oh, I think I'm into this for $2. Take 20 for it, when you really paid 10 for it, and now 20 isn't looking so good. So I know it's obvious, guys. I know many of you guys probably already do it, but I think even seasoned sellers like myself just kind of winged it. But think of the SKU field as the location to put information that you need to know. And of course, the location of the item, I think that's what most people use it for. Where you're cross-posting it, I'm not sure if a lot of people even have thought to do that. And of course, what are you into the item for? Have that information readily available for you, because not only do you need to have that information, but you don't want to be searching for it. When the item sells, it's right there. It appears right next to the information for the sale. And when you're looking at your active listings, you can also find it there as well. And if you don't have that information in your listings, it's going to be kind of a pain. You can simply go in to your active listings. You don't have to open a listing. You just click on the little drop down next to the SKU field. Hopefully you have that in your columns. If not, you can add that information so you can see that. But add that information. To me, it's so important. It doesn't seem like it is, but just to have that information at your fingertips. If you cross list and you don't put that information as to where you've put it, now you're really opening yourself up to some problems. So for me, that is the information I wanted to share with you today. Like I said, it's not revolutionary at all, but rarely do you hear about this talked about on YouTube. And I think because it's so obvious and because everyone does stuff a little differently, I think that it's just not discussed. So I wanted to give a shout out to a viewer named Paul. He made a purchase, and it's not because he made a purchase, but you know what? It was just the kind note that he left. He bought 3 cases of these baseball holders. Okay, so we're shipping these out today, and he should get them here in the next couple days. He's ordered 3 cases. That's 36 times 3. We're looking at 108 of these things, and we're gonna get a little creative the best way, because I really don't have a box that's going to work really good for that. And it just so happens that Mr. Paul has a PO box. Well, he's in somewhat of an adjacent state, somewhere in the same zone, and I'm going to get creative with this with some bubble wrap and poly, and we're going to send this out by priority mail because he's using a PO box. Now, normally if we were shipping all these together, that would be a no-no, and we'd have to, 3 of the boxes I've just showed you, we'd have to send it by UPS or FedEx, because priority mail, even to an adjacent state, is going to be quite expensive for this size of a parcel, and I'm not in the business of just giving money to the carriers, right? So it's going to be 3 separate tracking numbers, 3 separate packages. I've already communicated that to him, and I think it's going to be pretty well padded, and it's going to arrive in good order. But you just got to be creative. I think it's like $15 per box if I ship it that way, as compared to like I think priority mail for all these bound together would be somewhere around $80, and so I save about $30 in the deal. Yeah, he gets 3 different packages, but I think that it's probably going to be packaged better that way, doing it through priority mail, because I'm going to wrap this thing with some bubble and a poly and give it a little bit more padding than what's inside the box, which isn't a whole lot to begin with. So I want to know what you think about really just using the SKU. I mean, it's obvious. Maybe it's just me blowing wind up here on this video and I'm kind of preaching to the choir, but I think there's a few out there who probably were overlooking the uses for the SKU feature, aside from the location of your item, but maybe putting the cost of the item and any other sites that you've cross-listed it on, I think is a very good use of that feature. So if you enjoy the videos I put out, hit the like button. I'd certainly appreciate that. Of course, subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 20K. Probably by the time you're watching this, we'll probably be right at 20K. And you know what? Hit that notification bell so that when we do a live, like we're going to do this Thursday, not Friday, we're going to do it this Thursday, then you're going to be notified. Simple things, guys. It's not anything that's going to get you any more sales. It's not going to really help your account as far as the performance of the account any, but it's going to help you stay a little bit more organized, and it's going to maybe cut down on any customer confusion. Stop using your title for inside business information. That's what the SKU field is for. And hopefully this message gets to you well. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. But just know simple things like where to put, the cost of your item and other things that's important to you to know are just another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you to have an excellent rest of your day, and we will see you very soon.